All right, welcome, everybody for being here today. I am broadcasting live both on YouTube and on Facebook on my artist page on Facebook. And today's very special guest is none other than Artist Talk with Johnny Beane. How you doing today, Johnny?
Hey, I'm great, man. How are you?
I am wonderful, Johnny. Thank you so very much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me, man.
Usually, I just have a few things to run through first. While we're waiting for, hey, we got one watching. That's pretty good. On a Wednesday morning, we got one watching. Cool. Hi, welcome. Say hi in the chat. Whoever you are, say hi in the chat. Say hi to Johnny Bean.
Hi.
You are watching Guitarist Dreaming 352, and today Johnny hangs with the Dreamer. If you like my content, please follow my social media links in the description box below. Share my stream and my links with everyone that you know so today we can make a positive difference in someone's life.
Awesome.
Thank, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me and hit the subscribe button and smash that bell notification so you don't miss out on any future content from Guitarist Streaming 352. You have all been beautiful. I have been Will. I am live with Johnny Bean. See you in the next live stream. This stream is dedicated to my PayPal donors. Thank you goes to Design 39 Media. A very big thank you also goes to DIMBOLA, BLADEWORKS. DIMBOLA, Johnny Bean, my question. Well, first, Johnny Bean, how are you doing today? Are you feeling good?
I'm feeling pretty good, so far. Where are you? Where do you live, by the way?
Oh, Johnny, I live in Azusa, California.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you've heard what's going on.
Hmm,
I'm in Santa Cruz, California,
okay.
and not many people know this. We're just finding out about this like literally last night.
Oh, boy.
But the state is planning to turn our power off for up to 48 hours. Did you
Wow.
hear about that?
No.
Yeah, yeah. It's. Do you remember that fire that happened about a year ago?
Oh,
The Paradise fire
yes.
took
Yeah,
out the entire town.
yes.
Well, yeah, yeah. The state, they're saying we're going to have some major winds coming in, and they're going to be turning the power off to pretty much most of the Bay Area. Um, so we're just like getting ready.
Wow, that's
you
going to
know.
be insane, man. Most of the Bay Area. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it's not as bad as they're saying it is. And I was at, like right before we started here. I was out, filling up the car. They're saying charge all your phones, um, everything. So that's what I'm doing today.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Well, I'm sorry you're going through that, man. It's always,
Yeah. So
I,
if I vanish, you'll know why.
okay, cool. Cool. Definitely
um,
cool.
yeah.
So I thought today that, before I say what I was going to say, um, um, w- um, funny. What inspired you to start streaming and start your talk show with David Nassau?
You want the real story? Do you have time?
Sure. Yeah, I have time. I have plenty of time.
Oh, okay. All right. The truth is, I started vlogging, on YouTube, like, I don't know, 7 years ago,
Mm.
8 years ago. I don't know. I've been on YouTube since 2006. So I've seen a lot of things, on this platform. And I guess one of the things I wanted to do was just start vlogging, documenting, my life or whatever, whatever vlogging means. That's what I wanted to do, be a vlogger.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing those, yeah, like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. And I'd be making videos, and aside from those, I would do like guitar lessons. I would do some lessons, and particularly I did a few Eddie Van Halen guitar lessons that kind of took off a little bit, I guess, and got a lot of people, watching the stuff. And I guess one of those people was David Nesdahl. So I get a message one day, to my Facebook saying, "Hey, you don't know me, but my name is David Nesdahl, and I want to talk to you. I have an idea, or something. Can I call you? And I'm like, well, I don't know who this is, So I give them my fake phone number, and he calls me, and we talk for a little bit. He had this idea for something. I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's something else. And he wanted some of my input on it and ideas I had for it and whatever. And basically we just started talking on the phone, just every day, every other day, whatever, talking about music and guitars. And basically what you see us doing on the show, that was just a phone call, basically, is what that was. And after a couple of these calls, YouTube started changing a little bit. They started introducing live streaming and stuff, because when I started on YouTube there was no live streaming. There was no live from mobile or any of that stuff. You just had to upload videos and whatever. And then Google Plus came around, and you were able to start live streaming. If you dig back on my channel far enough, you'll find some live streams I did with Joe Satriani and Michael Anthony and guys like that.
Wow.
Long time ago.
Wow.
And, my Ned's here. My cat. Did you see my cat just run in here? Hey.
No, where'd your cat at, dude?
Oh, he's over here. He wants into the garage, but no, he's not doing that. Last night after there he goes. Last night after we finished up on my show, I was talking to my friend John Mancuda, and all of a sudden my cat brings in this headless mouse and starts playing with it right there on the ground. And I'm like, dude, I gotta go. My cat just brought in a headless. I was wondering where, I'd found the head earlier in the day in the garage.
Yeah.
Cleaned that up. Now that was the rest of it. But so anyway, getting back to YouTube. I'd been doing a bunch of different stuff. Guitar lessons and just all kinds of different videos, different stuff. Started doing the live. What was I doing? The vlogging thing. It wasn't live. It was just uploads. But I was asked to be on. There was a show called Huffington Post Live, and I was asked to be on that show. This was, oh man, it was when I still lived up in San Ramon. Maybe 4.5, close to 5 years ago, I guess. And I was asked to be on there. And so I was on, this national show, Huffington Post Live,
Wow.
and I was talking with guitarist Andy Summers from the Police.
Oh, yeah.
They had asked me to be on with him, and if any of you guys saw the clip, once they brought me on, he's like, "Is that Johnny Beane?" He knew me because I've seen him perform so many. I've gone to I went to one of his art shows down in Santa Monica, 10 years ago, and I always see him around, So that was kind of weird. That was pretty funny. But anyway, after that, I think it was right after that, that's maybe when Dave contacted me, or maybe it was a little before that. I got the idea. Well, hey, why don't we, instead of just talking on the phone about this stuff, why don't we go live over the internet and just talk about this stuff?
Yeah.
I think people would maybe dig watching this type of thing, So if you go back and watch some of our first videos, they're pretty horrible. And we would do marathons. We did an 8-hour stream one time. YouTube couldn't even save the entire thing, so there's only 6 hours of it up there.
Wow.
But it's us talking to just different people. Different people would jump in and just talk about whatever. I mean, the whole idea behind the stuff that we do was just to talk about guitars and gear, not necessarily to talk about Van Halen guitars nonstop. That wasn't. I really didn't want that. And you can ask Dave. He'll tell you. I'm like, let's talk about everything. But because people knew Dave Nesdahl from Facebook because of his guitar collection of having Van Halen, style guitars.
Oh, yeah.
Because of that, and because people knew me because of my Van Halen guitar lessons, some of them got featured in like Guitar Player magazine and different things over the years,
Wow,
so
John.
because of that, people kind of knew us as like the Van Halen guys. So, and as much as we tried, we really want to talk about all different things. It's always, it always comes back to the EVH stuff, which is great because I'll go to the NAMM show, I'll walk up to the EVH booth, and they're like, Johnny, I mean, I do so much. I've done so much over the years to help support the brand, and those guys, and they're great. A lot of them are actually good friends of mine. I've been down to the Fender EVH factory. I've taken a tour of everything, and a lot of cool stuff because of that. But yeah, basically what you see us doing on Tuesdays and Fridays and Saturdays, or just whatever we do on the channel, that's after years of just doing it. And still doing it, every time, like right now, every time I go live, it's like brand new. It never gets old. It's always exciting, and it's a lot of fun, and it's great to see a lot of other guys over the years start doing stuff like this, and meeting, I've met so many people, because of the internet and doing stuff like this, and it's great.
Well, Johnny, I think that's wonderful. Well, you see, my wife Cindy works in Corona.
Oh, okay.
So when I had the day off, I had a day free, and I went down to Corona with her and just hung out because we were going to Lake Elsinore for the weekend. So I just went down in Corona and got lost for a day, while she's at work. I did go to the Fender building, and the Fender Museum was closed.
Same here.
Yeah.
I didn't get into the Fender Museum either. It was closed.
I was like, no, man. So I was walking through the parking lot. Oh, I was bent, totally bent on getting in the EVH factory. I mean, that was in the back of my head, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm in Corona. That's what I'm going to do today. And I was driven. So what I did was, there was the another Fender museum with like real where the Steve Miller Amphitheater is or was.
Mm-hmm.
And I I went there and I did something I shouldn't have done, but I couldn't pass it up.
Uh-oh.
Doors the doors were open, but it was closed to the public.
Uh-huh.
Go walk in and I go, uh-oh. I'm like, do I really want to do this? I stuck my head in the door and I'm looking around like, whoa, come on, just stick one foot in. Just so you can say you just stuck one foot inside the Fender Museum, you know? So I walked in actually. I stuck my left foot in, I put my right foot, just followed, and I just kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking real quiet. Creeping around, and I just thought, wow, my mouth. I mean, I just saw the showroom with all these glass cases on. It's a conference room on all the sides of the room, and there must have been, gee, there had to have been, you know, 500 guitars. And
Wow.
I was just like, meanwhile,
Uh-huh.
these two guys come walking around the corner on the other side of the hall. And I'm
Uh-oh.
thinking to myself, okay, here we go. Run. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm just going to kind of, one looked over at me and I kind of turned sideways and I kind of went behind this um, art exhibit of Fenders, and I kind of went behind there and kind of
Mm-hmm.
thinking these two guys would just kind of walk on. One came around the corner on the other side of the art exhibit that I was kind of hiding behind, and said, "So what are you doing here?" I said, "The doors were open." I'm sorry, doors were open. Well, you're not supposed to be here. I go,
But the doors are open.
yeah, the doors are
Come
open.
on.
Exactly.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
You know? I would have said, well, I got to use the bathroom. Where's the bathroom? Or,
That was funny. It was a blast. And I said, "Can you please tell me where the Fender factory is, please? And I'll leave right now. Can you please tell me?" And they wrote down the address of where the Fender factory was. And
Mhm.
back in my mind, I knew that the EVH factory was in the back of the Fender factory. And that's all that was in my head. So, yeah, do you know where the Fender factory is, please? I didn't say, well, do you know where the EVH factory is? I didn't say that. I figured I better not say that. So, do you know where the Fender factory is? And I thought if I threw Fender in there, they might be more obliging to help me. So,
Mhm.
crazy thinking. And it worked. They wrote down the address to the Fender factory, handed it to me, and then walked me out of the escorted me out of the building. Meanwhile, I'm got my phone out and I'm taking pictures. Funny, funny. That was an adventure that I wasn't sure if I was going to survive or not.
Oh
But
man.
that was a blast. That was a blast. Yeah, that was a blast.
Uh-huh.
I got in the car and I put in the GPS, the Fender factory, you know. So I just followed the directions on my phone. And as I was driving down the road, I look over to the right and there it was. And I'm like, whoa, I can't believe I found it. So I pulled into the parking lot. I get out of the car. and it's closed. I was like,
Like, oh,
no
it's Sunday.
way, man. No, no freaking way. So I started walking around the parking lot. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to get in the building. I didn't know where I was walking. I just kept walking, man. I
Mm-hmm.
kept going. I'm in the parking lot. I'll figure it out, right? So that's my mentality. So as I came around and I figured out the parking lot, you've been there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the parking lot kind of splits off in two separate directions.
It's like a business. It looks like a business complex.
Yeah, and there were these two guys standing there, and I'm like, okay,
There's the same two guys from earlier.
no.
They're like, you again? What are you? What are you now? What are you doing here now, man? You're like, I'm still
Well,
trying to find the bathroom.
yeah, still trying to find the bathroom. Well, we got thumbs up, and thank you for that thumbs up. And so what I did was this big, tall, intimidating looking guy, right? He must have been like 6'7", 6'8", long hair, biker dude. And there was this shorter guy standing there with them. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, okay, this is going to be good. This is going to be very interesting. So the biker guy smiles and he tells the guy he's standing with, don't worry about it. I got it. And I'm thinking, who's he talking to? So he goes, hey, man, come here. And he's smiling, being friendly and everything. I didn't, and I should have. I kind of walked past them, and the biker dude just kind of like kept looking forward, and the guy he was talking to turned his face away from my view. So I couldn't see who it was.
Uh-huh.
And then it dawned on me, is that Eddie? It dawned on me, and I turned around. I went to talk to the doorman, and he said, yeah, the Fender building's closed. And I only had my back to these two guys for about 5 minutes. When I
Mm-hmm.
turned around, the two guys vanished. And I was like thinking to myself, did I just see Eddie Van Halen?
What did you?
I don't know. The guy had his face turned away. He turned his face away, so I couldn't see who he was. So maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
Uh-huh.
But
You never know.
you never know. I just kind of looked over and kind of waved at the two guys. The biker dude was looking at me outside of his eye, and I should have went over and talked to him and explained who I was, tell him I grew up in Pasadena, and just what kind of a big deal it would be to me to not necessarily meet Eddie, but to see his factory. I don't want to bother Eddie, but just to see the guitars because I love the guitars.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have done that. I don't know why I didn't. My mom used to work for San Gabriel Valley Medical Center,
Mm-hmm.
and Dr. Nathan Roth was a resident doctor there. That's one of the hospitals. My mom knew him.
Oh, wow.
And that really that really touched my heart because when I used to go visit my mom back in the day at work, she took me to the pediatric ward, and she took me in an elevator, and she said, "This is a new pediatric ward that just opened up." She said, "Come here, I want to show you something." And right there, right as soon as I step out of the elevator, there was this plaque saying this pediatric ward was donated by Alex Van Halen, Edward Van Halen, David Lee Roth, and Michael Anthony. And I thought, wow. I was really captivated by that. I thought, good, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guys. And I'm not one to really jump on the bandwagon, who says this. You know what? I'm not saying nothing. I just love Eddie's guitars, and I'm familiar with EVH because I grew up in Pasadena because of my past history, and I love what he's coming up with. Have you seen the 2019 line?
Yeah. Yeah. I was there.
What do you think of that? I mean, kind of going back to a Strat style, would you say?
Strat style. You mean you mean like the Bumblebee?
Yeah, the Bumblebee, or
they did a Bumblebee relic.
oh,
It debuted at Summer NAMM. They did a 1978. They did 3 different versions of those that debuted, I guess, a year before. Yeah, year before that. And
wow.
they make great stuff. I've been playing. I mean, I go way back. I've been playing. My first. I got a Kramer Focus 1000 back in 1989. That was my first real guitar, with an actual Floyd Rose on it, and then in 1992, I got the EVH Ernie Ball Music Man.
Oh, dude, Johnny.
And that was my main guitar for a lot of years. I toured, I was in this band in Florida. We were signed to Destin Entertainment, which is Desmond Child's label. And that was my main guitar when I was in Miami, playing. We played shows every night, and even back here in California, the Eddie Van Halen Music Man was my main guitar for a lot of years.
I love that guitar.
And it's great. It's great. And then when they came out with the PVs, it took a while for me to actually find an actual PV Wolfgang. I think the first time I ever played one of those was in New Mexico. I was in Albuquerque visiting a relative of mine who has a record label in New Mexico. And I was visiting with him, and I had my Music Man guitar with me. And I remember walking into a guitar store, and they had a PV Wolfgang in there. And this was about 19 years ago. So that was the first time I ever played the Music Man and the PV side by side, And I think I ended up getting one of those, sometime later, which I had to get rid of, probably a couple years ago. But and then I guess after that was the EVH brand. They started coming out with the Wolfgangs. I want to say 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago. And yeah, once I tried, a couple of those. It was like, man, they get better and better. You know, the series, the Eddie Van Halen guitars going from the Kramers to the Music Mans to the PVs to now the Fender EVH stuff, which I think is the best. You know, um, just great stuff. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
that's cool, man. You know what, Johnny? That's absolutely amazing. Before uh, before I say hi to the people in the chat, have you had a chance to check this pedal out yet?
Is that a Friedman?
Yeah,
Is that the BE 100?
BOD Deluxe.
Is that I'm trying to read it. Oh, OD. Okay. Oh, the deluxe. Okay, I've got. Look what I have. It's a little dusty. I've got this one.
Hey, look at that.
I've got this one. This one was sent in by a viewer. A viewer sent this to me as a gift a couple years ago or so. And
Cool,
yeah,
man.
these are great. These are awesome. I make sure to visit with Friedman in the Friedman booth every year at NAMM.
Oh yeah. Well,
Him and Mark Tone Talk. Those guys are great.
oh, Mark. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Have you ever um, seen these or tried these before? Uh, sorry, you have to. There we go. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
My whole show is a technical difficulty, especially on Tuesdays. That's what we call it.
Ever since I got my operating system updated, I'm starting.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's why you don't update. I'm still run. My computer is from 1994. Okay,
Wow.
I'm still running on Windows. Windows 92.
That's all right, man. You know what? If Windows 7 works with this stuff, so is Windows 92.
Windows 92.
So check this out. This right here, the Dirty Shirley,
Mm-hmm.
or right here, the Dirty
Mm-hmm.
Shirley OD. Let's see. There you go. Dirty Shirley OD, and right here, the Golden Pearl. Have you tried these two particular overdrives before?
I'm gonna say maybe I did try a Dirty Shirley. I've tried a lot of the stuff over the years. I want to say I've probably tried one of those. I know I've played through the amps. I'll go to Guitar Center and do videos, of cool stuff. And I've used a lot of the Friedman amps over the years.
Wow.
And they're great. I mean, they're definitely, you really have to, they make you really have to play a Friedman amp, because, at least the ones that I played, they really don't get, super dirty,
Mhm.
like an old Marshall really isn't a super dirty amp,
No.
and it makes you can really hear every little thing, so it kind of makes you really have to play to get those things going. But Friedman stuff is great, man.
I, you know, I if I could just own, sorry about that, if technical difficulty. If I could just own one Friedman amp I would be, that would like make my life, you know. Um, uh, I'm such a gear nut, like all the rest of us, that I really love the Friedman stuff. I mean, I have the overdrives and I have the No More Tears wah, and I
Mm-hmm.
have beautiful wah, man. And you ever get a chance to try that wah? It is amazing. And I have the Buxom Boost overdrive, or actually overdrive boost slash EQ pedal. And that's another thing. I'm just getting all my stuff together for my dream pedal board. And my dream pedal board consists of Friedman, um, the NUX Solid Studio. Have you heard that?
No, no,
Amazing, amazing
that's cool.
cabinet, amazing pedal. So on my show, Johnny, I usually ask my guest questions, and my question, Johnny Beane, for you is, what is your ideal guitar rig?
Oh man. Uh, I would say well, it's probably what I already kind of use. You know, I mean, it really depends on. See, when you play in the studio, when you're recording in the studio, or if you're playing live, you know, or if you're on tour, those are two totally different worlds. It's not the same thing at all. You know, um, what I use, I would say I probably use one of the best amps out there. It's called a Fender Hot Rod. Is it the DeVille? I think I can never I remember which one it is because there's two different. There's the 212 and the 112, and I have the 212 version of that. I think it's the DeVille.
I love
Um,
those amps.
but yeah, a Fender. Who was somebody was saying this the other day. I don't know if this was on my show or I don't know where this was. I might have been in the studio. I go to the studio every day, and I'm always working in the studio. Somebody somewhere said this, and I agree 100%. They said you can't beat a Fender clean amplifier. You know,
Hmm.
you can't beat that. You know, so uh, you know the amp that I use, the Fender 212 Hot Rod DeVille. Yeah, I've never used the dirty channel in that amp ever. I've had that amp for 10 years. I've never used the dirty channel. It's always on clean, you know. And then I'll use a pedal on top of that, like the Friedman BEOD right there,
Oh
or
yeah,
or um or the EVH 5150 overdrive. I've got that one, which again was a gift from I think Michael Smith. Michael Smith gave me that. Um, I use those. I use a rat, you know, a rat distortion. I use a lot of different fuzz pedals, you know. So I use a lot of different pedals, you know. But I would say as far as an amp, the Fender 212, you know, the Hot Rod, you know, that's amazing amps. Great for the studio. I've used it in the studio countless times. I've actually toured with it. I've toured all across the country with it, you know. I've taken it. I think when we went down to Mexico, I took it down there, and it's you know that's the thing's loud. Thing is super loud. Um, so yeah, Fender 212 amp. You know, some pedals. You know, like the Friedman or the EVH overdrive. What else do I have? Where is my? I've got my board. I just redid my board the other day.
oh, cool.
I'm using these solderless cables, um,
Okay.
and I just where are they? I'll give them a plug. Three Monkeys solderless right there.
Wow.
They do these solderless these cables you can build. you can build yourself. You know.
DIY cables.
Yeah, yeah, they're great. They're great. But I just tore my board apart to hook them up. Let's see, what do I have? I've got a Boss tuner, you know,
Mhm.
the old, you know, the white one. I've got the Echoplex delay Dunlop, which I love, you know. And I recently actually just played through an actual one, an actual Echoplex, you know, from the 70s. And actually, there's a video on my channel from, was that maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe, of me playing through that. MXR compressor, Boss OC2,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just different pedals. You know, my pedal board is always changing,
Yeah,
depending on the band I'm playing with, depending on the situation. It's never never the same. You know, it's like, you know, I might as well not even use Velcro on my pedals, because as soon as I put a pedal down, I'm switching it out for something else. You know,
that's great though. See,
so
that's all about the pursuit for tone. It's never changing. It's never. I mean, it's always changing.
it's ever changing.
Ever
There you
changing.
go.
Absolutely, Johnny. Absolutely, and absolutely. You know, I well, I mean, I could just yammer on for days about guitar tone, man. I, my ears lately. Well, next question would be what are your goals for your amazing music that you play?
Um. Well, you know, back in the day, it's like, oh man, we got to get signed. We got to get
Yeah.
a record deal. You know,
Oh,
that was a long time ago. Um, I've actually done that. You know, as I said, I was signed to Desmond Child's label
mm,
years ago. If you guys don't know who Desmond Child is, he was the guy who brought you uh, "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi, "Angel" by Aerosmith. Dude looks like a lady. You know, all that stuff. You Give Love
that,
a Bad Name. That's all Desmond Child. Poison by Alice Cooper. I mean, there's countless songs. You know, um, but yeah, I've done the signed band thing. Although, you know, these days it's such a different world now. You know,
yeah.
you can make your own records. You can upload your own stuff to iTunes. Anybody can do anything. Um, I think now. I think for me, what was the question?
I don't know, man.
Where's the card?
That's it.
I don't know. What are your goals for your amazing music that you play?
Yeah.
Um, right now, actually, actually, what I'm doing right now, I'm playing a lot of piano right
Oh,
now.
outstanding, Johnny.
You know, after all these years, you know, I just turned 29. You know, after all these years, after all these years, you know, I never knew how to read music, how to write music. You
Yeah.
know, I've always played piano, but with the wrong fingers. Just doing, you know, using my thumbs on the black keys, which, you know, is a big no-no. You know, um, and so for a while, you know, actually, I've got a second channel. Can I plug my own channel on here?
Please. I'm going to get to all that, but please plug it. Plug
Okay.
away.
I've got my main channel, which is just Johnny Beane, or Johnny Beane TV is where the domain goes, you know. Um, I've got a second channel called, right now it's called Johnny Beane Highlights. And it's like highlights from the main channel. It's random vlogs. It's just different. It's me eating burritos. It's Ned the cat rolling around. It's all different types of stuff, you know. But so anyway, the past week or couple weeks, I've been streaming my piano practices, And as boring as that sounds, it's really not so bad, you know. You know, there's no rulers, there's nobody, you know, cracking my knuckles, you know, there's none of that. It's just me, it's basically just me just playing the piano, you know, and learning and talking, you know. I do it live, you know, do it live. And so I'm talking to the chat. You know, I've got my super fans in there, you know, the 3 people that show up for those. And
Definitely.
but yeah, long story short, I've been learning how to learning how to read and write music, learning how to play the piano the right way. And that has done amazing wonders to the guitar.
Yes.
Which I've been playing the guitar, you know, I'm 29, but I've been playing the guitar for 30 years. So figure that out, you know. I look at the guitar now as a totally different way, you know. But I guess what I'm trying to say is my goals for my music. I think if that's what the question was. It's basically it's just to create. It's just to get better. Just to get better, you know, experience with music. You know, because I'm self-taught. You know, I mean, a lot of us are. You know, and maybe, you know, we kind of know what we're doing. Maybe we have no idea what we're doing. But if you learn a little bit of piano, if you learn music theory, that's you know, that's the main thing. If you learn some theory, learn what the notes are called, learn, you know, how this relates to that or whatever. You know, if you just get your foot in the door with some of that, it totally opens things up. And it's just I don't know. I'm getting excited just talking about it. Where's my
Definitely.
I'm just like, yeah, guys, the piano rocks. Oh, crap. Hang on, wrong one.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. What is
There we go. You know, no, it's just learning, you know, learning music. You know, I hang around with musicians every day. You know, I mean, I'm a rock and roller, but actually, I hang out with a lot of jazz guys all the time. I mean, I like jazz. I mean, I like everything. Like what I was telling you earlier, you know, we talk about EVH guitars and Kramers and music bands and all that stuff, but you know, I love it. You know, we love everything. We just love music and gear and stuff in general. But I don't know. I think that was my answer. For my music now, it's just getting better. You know, getting better with the piano, getting better with writing. You know, the notes on the staff, you know, and all that. I love creating music. You know, it's to me, it's not all about being on stage and wanking on your guitar as fast as you can and saying, "Hey, I'm Joe." You know, Joe Cool. It was never about that. Let me just say, you know, if I couldn't play the guitar anymore, and if I had to play piano, I'd be perfectly happy.
Yeah.
You know, watch my streams. Watch, you know, please, you know, watch me playing the piano on my second channel, and you'll see it's not. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I love music. I love music in general and just creating music, and that all relates to this as well. You know, doing live videos, you know, talking to friends, interviewing rock stars, you know, whatever it is, just entertaining.
Yeah.
To me, it's all entertainment, and I love to create and entertain.
Absolutely. No, Johnny, that's perfect. My next question.
Your question: why?
Why? No, why doesn't count. Don't ask why. You just don't question that. That's like a treading on thin ground question. I know with me, I why? Because that's just the way it is. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice for any young musicians wanting to play live?
Yeah. Wanting to play live?
Yeah.
First of all, well, keep an eye on your stuff. You know, I've had stuff swiped in the green rooms at gigs. You know, stuff goes missing. You forget things. You know, you live down south. Yeah, we were on tour down in Orange County one time, and I left my pedal board like in the backstage area at this sports bar that we were playing, and I had to drive. You know, thankfully we had a day off that day where we could sleep in and hang out. I think this was maybe down in Irvine or something.
Wow.
But thankfully we didn't have to drive off to the next city. I had to borrow somebody's car, or somebody drove me or something, half an hour back to the venue the next morning so I could find my pedal board. And it was like slightly behind like a curtain, like in some sort of backstage area or something. So that's the first thing. If you're wanting to play live, keep an eye on your stuff, you know, when you're there at the venue. Well, I mean, you know, playing the guitar, you know, if you know, sitting on the couch playing the guitar and playing on stage, again, two totally different things. You know, an amp that works great here might not be really what you want to use, you know, on stage somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's, I don't know. It's all it's all trial and error. It's all just experience, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't know. If you have stage fright, which I do. Actually, I've had horrible stage fright for years. You know. Although for me, it's, if I can get on stage with the guitar and I'm fine. If I have to get on stage and, you know, for the spelling bee, national spelling bee or something, first of all, I'm gonna miss the word because I can't spell, you know, worth crap. You know.
Yeah.
Second of all, you know, me in front of a microphone is I'm a wreck. You know. But, you know, doing these things like this has helped. This has helped me be a better public speaker in real life.
Wonderful, Johnny.
You
I'm glad
know.
to hear that.
So yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for that. Seriously, man. No, I'm glad. I before I get to my next question, I just want to tell you, you know, when I started, I've always known about YouTube, and I just thought YouTube was a way to for me to figure out things that I wanted to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted to be a part of this world. And I'm new. I could say that. I'm new. I don't have much. I only have one electric guitar and one acoustic guitar. But I love them to death. They're all I have. And I use Boss. I have a 50-watt Boss Katana amp.
Oh, cool.
Good amp, man. Good amp, Johnny.
The katanas. Yeah, my buddy Liquid Charlie.
Oh yeah, Charlie. Yeah,
uses those. Yeah.
it's a great amp. It really is. And I'm so glad I have it. I also have the Boss GT1.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played through that thing? It's a smaller version of the GT1000.
Trying to think. It's possible I have. You know, I've tried a lot of different things. You know, a lot of different. You know, I'll go into Guitar Center and I'll play through so many different things or check out. You know, so many cool stuff. There's so much stuff out there now these days.
Yes.
It's it's crazy and it's always changing. You know.
Well, I'm hoping that maybe one of these days somebody might be watching the Dreaming Guitarist show and they'll know somebody um, from this company. Have you ever tried the Synergy modules?
Hmm.
Synergy.
Um. I don't know. I don't know.
Amazing stuff. Jem Majura from Evidence uses Synergy Live,
Mm-hmm.
and she just had a couple 212 cabinets. Um, well, I know that she has at least one, and she's got a amp shell, a head shell
Mm-hmm.
that holds a couple modules, and she sounds amazing. And it was actually Mr. Steve Vai that I saw demoing. Mr. Vai was demoing a all the Synergy modules,
Mm-hmm.
and it's amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, that's reaching kind of high for me, but you know, I'm a boss guy through and through, and if I never have the pleasure and the I I get kind of choked up when I talk about this stuff because I have throughout the years I've had this or that or whatever, but it's all become very sacred to me
Mm-hmm.
because it means that much to me that I love Synergy, I love EVH gear, I I I love Boss stuff. I mean, there's just so many great brands out there, but those are the brands that really stand out. I love Friedman amplification. Um, Mr. Steve Stevens, he I saw in a video to where that kind of gentleman um, was using has a signature Friedman Steve Stevens amp. That thing, it's I would love to have that. If I was going to have a signature amp, it would be that one. Um,
That's cool.
I'm just romanced by the whole thing. You know, I at this stage of the game, you know, I still like I sit here and I look over at Rosie and I'm like, I feel like I'm 12 years old again, you know, and I feel like it's just weird how music does that to a person, you know.
Oh,
It
I'm still 12 years old. You know,
I just it makes
literally. I'm only 4 feet tall.
well,
You
I
know, I started smoking when I was 12, and so I never grew. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking.
I I oh man, I quit smoking cigarettes about 6 years ago, and
Yeah.
it I don't know. Something that I went through. I could share with you, but not live. But if you ever have time, but yeah, I dropped it. I dropped it. I had enough.
Hmm.
You know, you know.
I know. Yeah, I know. I've quit several times over the years, and the last time I quit was 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been since 2011 since I've had one. Um, they're making it harder and harder to smoke in California anywhere. You can't smoke anywhere in California. You know,
Isn't that crazy?
there's signs downtown in downtown areas, no smoking downtown at all.
No.
You know, I tried the vaping. You know, I tried that, and then basically started wheezing. I couldn't stop wheezing, and I had to go to the ER. So I quit that. I got addicted to the gum, nicotine gum. I was popping nicotine gum like nonstop. You
Uh,
know, that stuff is great, by the way. But if you're trying to quit with it, you got to follow the rules and with the little stickers and everything. The way I look at it, you know, it's like you know, you can always do it later. You know, as far as stuff that's bad for you, put it off. Do it later. Stuff that's good for you, that's what you want to do now. So I run. I did a 2 hour hike last Sunday. If any of you guys follow me on Instagram or any of that, I posted some stuff in my stories with the hike I did up in Felton, California.
Felton.
Do you know Felton?
Felton. Yes.
It's basically just the woods.
My brother-in-law lives in Sebastopol.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Above Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
With his wife and his family.
Cool. Yeah, I know Santa Rosa. Yeah.
I love that area. I love it, man. I love it so much. San Simeon, Cambria, all that.
It's I love California. And to me, there's no battle between northern and southern. You get like, you know you know what I'm saying. I love it all. I love it all. And where I live, I basically live in Santa Cruz, which is kind of a mixture of the city and the forest. It's like I have to drive over the Santa Cruz Mountains anytime I want to go to San Jose or San Francisco or Oakland or any of that. And it's pretty cool.
Well, I can't agree more. Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz, isn't that where the movie The Lost Boys was filmed?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If you watch the intro to that, where it shows all the rides, where they get kicked off the carousel or whatever that is, and then they chase after the security guard later on. That's called Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. And a friend of mine and we go busking over there, actually on the wharf over there. We should do that again at some point. I was actually thinking about maybe streaming some of that, doing a live, the live busking. But yeah, Santa Cruz. Although in the movie they call it San Carlos.
That's right.
I think, or San Carla, which doesn't exist. Is it? No, San Carlos. That is a real. I think it's San Carla. One of those. That's what they call it in the movie, but it is Santa Cruz. So if you guys want to see what Santa Cruz is like, especially in 1986, 87, which it really hasn't changed since then either. If I watch that movie, it looks the same as here. Because why would you want to change somewhere that's so amazing anyway?
Exactly.
This is one of the top tourist. This whole area, San Francisco, Santa Cruz. People come from all over the world. It's like I can go downtown anywhere around here, and there's people speaking so many different languages because they're visiting. You go to San Francisco, and there's like everybody's from Germany or something. Actually, when we were hiking last week, in Felton. There was this huge group of girls, and they all had British accents, you know, and they were taking these pictures next to these trees, you know, because some of the trees, you know, where we went are like thousands of years old. You know, they actually show them. There's this huge tree stump there. I should have taken a picture of it. I didn't. But it actually shows you timelines of the rings on the trees, and it shows you, you know, it actually says, Jesus was born here. You know, this happened here.
Wow.
The car was invented here. You know, all within this one tree's life.
Wow.
And it's the thing. I can't even tell you how huge it was. But it fell down too. They didn't cut it down. It fell down back in like the 1930s or something. So that's, I guess, when they put it on display. You know.
That's awesome, Johnny. That is so cool. I know I'm into all that. I really like all that stuff, and I find everything very fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Have you? No, I asked you that one.
Maybe. I've maybe tried those. I don't know. I've tried so many different things, but is that should I read that?
If you would like to.
Have you ever had plans to shoot a video playing live? Playing music?
Yeah.
Playing the guitar? Yeah. I've well, I mean, I've been playing a long time, and I've you know, back before YouTube, back before, you know, cell phones, you know, when you had the camcorder, you know, I used to take a huge camcorder this big, actually no, this big, to gigs, and it ran on tape, you know, the certain little tapes you had to get, and I would set it, set it somewhere, or somebody would film, you know. So yeah, I've filmed all kinds of different, you know, different gigs. I've documented probably every gig I've ever done. You know, there's a cassette tape, or there's a videotape, or now there's digital, or there's YouTube of probably everything. And I mean everything. I've got cassette tapes of me playing the guitar at 12 years old.
Oh,
you know, still. Awesome. Which I probably need to MP3 that stuff. Nobody's ever going to hear it, but yeah, I should probably save it before the rat eats it, you know, that the cat, you know, catches, you know. That's what my cat does. My cat stands guard of my tub of tape, my tub of tapes of when I was, you know. I'm not kidding either. I could take a picture on Instagram. I can show you the tub of tapes and all that, but no, and as far as making a video playing live, I go live on my channel all the time playing the guitar, if that
sure.
If that works.
Sure.
You know, all the time. Well, not all the time, but a lot of the time, you know. Or playing the piano. You know, the streams I do on my second channel, Johnny Beane Highlights. Subscribe. You know, it's me playing live.
I want to check that out.
It's cool. It's great.
It's hard to put in words, isn't it? It's like, it's hard sometimes, I know, for myself to try to explain to people what I'm feeling, and try to explain to people that, are you listening to the same thing I'm listening to? Check this out. You know, it's music, guitars, without sounding impolitically correct, or what have you, whatever that means. You know, I don't know, man. Yeah. Guitar and music, it's all a journey, really, for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a journey. It's more of a spiritual experience, like something I learned a long time ago. Well, it's all a spiritual experience, meaning that it touches me. And like this morning, I was just playing 4 notes, or actually 3 notes on a high E string on Rosie, and all of a sudden, this run came out of nowhere. Within that same fret radius. We're actually within that same fret, the frets that I was playing,
Mm-hmm.
7 and 9, 7, 8, and fret 7, fret 8, and fret 9. I'm tuned down to E flat, so yeah, I'm tuned down a half step. And something happened, I mean, that's what music does to me, is that something really out of the ordinary happened. And maybe it was all in my head. Maybe, maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was supernatural, or if anybody believes in that kind of stuff or what have you. But anyway, music affects us all in the same ways, I think, then in different ways.
Yeah, I think it affects us all, differently, but we can all relate to the same things. We might look at things a little differently. We might like, you might like the Friedman stuff. I might like, the Fender stuff, but it's the same type of, we get the same things from it,
Well, my last question is, do you have any questions for me?
Why? That's the only question anybody needs. Why?
Because I can.
Hey, Chick in Guitars.
Oh, the chat room. Oh,
There's people
man.
watching this. Mr.
Yeah.
B, is that Bruce? Yeah, an hour and 12 minutes in. Oh, welcome, Harmony.
Wow, Harmony's here.
Harmony's here. Mr. BHP. I think that's Bruce is here.
Harmony, cheers, Will and
Chick
Johnny.
in Guitars.
Chicken Guitars is here.
Chicken Guitars?
No, not Chicken Guitars.
I have chickens.
There she is, driving back from Pennsylvania, but listening on my commute. Hi, Will Dunham. Hi, Johnny Beane. Ah, Chick. Thank you for being here.
Hey.
Wow. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Some of these names, Harmony and Chick, are wonderful people, dude. That Mark Taylor, another fantastic guy, man. Hey, everybody.
Mm-hmm. I see some of these people. When I do my shows, I see some of these names. Yeah,
they're awesome. The first time I ever heard Mr. BHBGAR. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. Was on another stream. I love the chat rooms. I love reading chats, and I love talking to the people in the chat. Harmony goes laugh out loud, LOL. It's funny. Let's see, what's Chick have to say? Bruce! Hi, Bruce. Thank you for being here today, Bruce. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you very much. The a few things that I knew that I enjoy so much talking to you, Johnny, and that's why it means so much to me that you're here right now. I really, well, thank you. I don't know. I can't. Hard for me to put in words how I feel, but thank you. Um,
Oh, dude, you're welcome, man. I mean, we're just talking, talking stuff,
Talking shop. Well, I wanted to take a minute and please ask everybody to go to my Facebook page where I'm streaming live, Guitarist Dreaming 352. Give it a like, give it a share. Check out my Twitter.
I did.
Thank you, Johnny. Check out my Instagram. And probably the most important little square box I have to click right now is my PayPal. Guitar Streaming 352 is on PayPal. And anybody who likes my content, $1 is all I require to get one step closer to my musical mission and to be able to become a full-time content creator, full-time musician, and share my music with the world. The whole reason why I started the PayPal is because there's an old saying that I remember hearing. Be like the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex and leave deep footprints. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. And that's why I started a PayPal, where every cent that goes through my PayPal will be going for better camera gear, better lighting gear, better guitar gear to put out better quality videos, better quality live streams. And hey, maybe another camera so I can move my hand over here and it won't be off camera.
Yeah, my camera sucks.
Please, please check out Johnny's links down the description box below. I have all of his links. I have every way imaginable that Johnny would like everybody to get a hold of him. Please follow.
The key to the back door is under the mat.
No, I didn't say that. And check out my PayPal link, and $1 is all I require. Less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Well, not out here.
Really?
For me, a Starbucks is $3.50.
Oh, really?
I just downloaded the app. I downloaded the Starbucks app on my phone, so I could get points. Actually, I downloaded that app like years ago on my iPad, which now is full and sucks. Thing barely turns on. But no, I know what you're saying though. Yeah, $1. That's all. That's all it takes.
$1. I'm not trying to line my pockets. I'm not trying to, turn into
the duck from DuckTales. The guy that dives into all the money.
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to. I'd love to do that, but I'm not trying to be that guy.
I'm not trying to be the duck from DuckTales.
That
would hurt, diving into a pool full of coins. How does
I
he do that? That would hurt so bad, man.
a pool of $100 bills.
Well, yeah, that's a little different. You know, a pillow made of dollars.
Well, I want to say that
Just
there.
imagine the rash you'd wake up with sleeping on money, man. Scrooge McDuck. Is that yeah, Bruce? There you go. Scrooge McDuck. That's I'm not trying to be Scrooge McDuck, but you know, every little bit helps.
Bruce. Yeah, Scrooge McDuck. Yeah, that's it. Chick. When we can spend a day in the coop, Johnny Beane. Hey, there you go, Johnny.
When can we spend a day in the coop? Oh, yeah, I live stream from my chicken coop sometimes. I think that's maybe what she's saying. On my second channel, Johnny Beane Highlights. Yeah, you'll find live streams of me boring piano sessions. You know, you'll see my hands, you'll see rulers, you know, cracking my knuckles every few seconds because I'm hitting all the black keys with my thumbs.
Your flat keys.
You know. Hey, dude, James O'Brien. Hey, man. Let's see. Yeah. Just I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know.
Well, what would be your But I asked you about what your dream rig would be, or your ideal rig would be. So one thing just kind of inspiration, just kind of pops on my head like a coffee maker sometimes. I don't know where I don't plan for it. I didn't think I was going to ask you the question I'm going to ask you right now. But what I wanted to ask you was, Johnny, have you ever tried Wolf guitars?
Wolf guitars?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I've never heard of those.
Well, there's a creator by the name of Max, who I'm following, and on my YouTube channel, which will lead me to the next thing, on my YouTube channel, I have a whole bunch of playlists dedicated to the people I'm following and the people that are putting out content that really are inspiring to me, and I want to promote that. I would like to make a playlist for you. Make a playlist for you, Johnny, for your shows, for your channels on my channel. May I do that?
Oh, of course.
I'd love to do that. I'm just starting out, but that's the whole reason why I started this thing. So I could promote other people, and as well as myself, and hopefully through promoting other people, I'll find my voice, But thank you for letting me do that.
Oh, of course. Yeah. You just got to keep doing it. Like whatever you do, whatever you want to do, you just have to do it. And no matter what, and things are going to change. People are going to come and go. I can tell you from experience, the people that are, watching you right now that think you're the greatest thing in the world might, hate your guts tomorrow. You never know. But you just have to keep doing whatever it is. And you have to be true to yourself and just do it,
Be true to, who wrote that? To thy own self be true. Wrote that quote.
Was it Scrooge McDuck? I don't know.
Scrooge McDuck. Yeah, it might have been.
New from McDonald's. The Scrooge McDuck sandwich.
Scrooge McDuck.
You bite into it. The pickles look like quarters. The cheese looks like a dollar bill. I'm getting hungry. Ugh. I gotta hit they had the McDonald's before they turn the power off. You know, in town.
When are we supposed to do that, Johnny?
No, I don't know. In-N-Out Burger.
There you go.
If you guys, you know, California, In-N-Out. That was their old quote. Do you remember the commercials? In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about. That's what they used to be. I think they changed it now, but actually, can I grab this? Check this out. Let me grab my
Sure.
Watch this. I'm gonna disappear for a second. Hang on.
Cool. No, he's gone, ladies and gentlemen. We just lost Johnny Beane. He's in the door. Oh, no, there he is.
Here I am. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. In-N-Out. Check it out. Here's my tuner. I have no memory of putting that sticker on there, but look at that sticker on there.
Oh, In-N-Out. Wow, that's cool.
There you go.
That tells you everything right there, folks.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. I hear you. In Pasadena, there. That was my first In-N-Out experience at Pasadena, California, on Walnut Street or Walnut Avenue. Was my first In-N-Out experience years ago.
You're talking about the burger place, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. My first In-N-Out experience. Where was that actually? No, the In-N-Out burgers. Yeah, the first In-N-Out burger I ever had, or the first place I remember going to was in what town was that? Oh man, I can't. It's been so, you know, I've moved so many times. Around here.
Hamlet.
Hamlet said that.
Shakespeare. Thanks, Bruce. That is cool.
The Hamlet sandwich.
That's it. Sorry, John. Wow, Hamlet. That's right. Nevermore, Bruce. Nevermore. Remember the Raven?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Stefan. There's people jumping in on the Facebook side. I see them. I'm watching this on Facebook.
Really? Let's see. How? I'll view on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who's over on Facebook here. Uh-oh.
You can see them in the comments. Remember what I said earlier? How the comments changed now? How there's a YouTube icon on some of them? And you'll see some of them have a Facebook icon. Those are comments from Facebook. They integrated each platform, each one that you're on, so it all shares the same chat box. Stefan.
James O'Brien.
Yeah. That's JJ's House of Jams.
Uh-oh.
You can see them in the comments. Remember what I said earlier? How the comments changed now?
I already said that earlier.
Wow, well, I just found out that when you go over to Facebook, you watching the show simultaneously, you get an echo.
Yeah, all this stuff is delayed.
Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is very interesting. I'm glad StreamYard's let me do this. Rock on, guy, James O'Brien. Welcome, James.
James,
you know Johnny Beane? My name is My name is Will, Guitarist Dreaming 352. Welcome. Welcome to the wacky world of Guitarist Dreaming 352 with Johnny Beane. James, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. The one thing, Stephen Odette. Stephen, excuse me, Stephen. Hey, Johnny, that's cool. Thank you for being here, Stephen. My name is Will. Pleased to meet you. Welcome to the wacky world of Guitarist Dreaming 352. Been watching Johnny Stephen for 6 years. Oh, Johnny, that's so neat.
Oh, I knew there was somebody watching me everywhere I went. That was you? Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks for the hang. Well, I'm glad you enjoy, James. O'Brien, you must be Irish. The reason why I say that is I know a real awesome blues player by the name of Pat O'Brien. And he's gnarly, dude. I mean, I've got a picture of Jimi Hendrix hanging up in my bedroom, like a big old tapestry, because I love Hendrix. And Pat O'Brien, I swear, is Jimi Hendrix reincarnated. Amazing.
That's not the same Pat O'Brien from what was the show? Remember the news guy?
Yeah.
Pat O'Brien, he got caught he got caught making phone calls to women.
Yeah,
like,
no, not that dude.
Remember that? Pat O'Brien.
No, not that dude.
Is that him?
No. Oh, no. Not yet. Well, thank you, everybody. And please be sure to follow, subscribe, all the links down the description box below.
Like.
One thing I definitely like to say on all my shows is stay inspired. Inspiration is such a teacher to me personally. Music is all I had. I had some friends growing up, but music was always there, always integrated in everything I was doing. Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, Pink Floyd. It was always playing, always integrated in everything I was doing in my life, because that's the only thing that made sense to me. I ended up not having a lot of friends at that time, and music is the one thing that never let me down. Politics and religion, well, I'm not going to get into that, but
that's a different episode.
Yeah, that's like Shark Tank. I don't want to swim in, but most people say it's sex and religion, but I don't want to approach that stuff. Guitarist Dreaming 352 is all about guitars and music, and I promise as soon as I have a free moment, I'm going to shoot a video. I need to work on my video editing. That's how I ended up doing live streams, because I suck at video editing. I can admit it. It is what it is. I suck at video editing, so I've got a lot of work to do in that department. I have Adobe Premiere Pro,
Yeah.
I actually the whole Adobe Creative Suite.
Same here.
You do?
Yeah, I use that too. Yeah.
The Photoshop,
All that stuff. Yeah.
Spark, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, John. There there was well, name I am gonna mention just only because this was a real good friend of mine and I miss him dearly. But during my tenure in playing guitar in Soul Machine, our sound man and our roadie, our tech, our sound man was also our tech. Uh, his name Peter Kokos. And I know it. I miss that guy, and I wish I could have him. I wish I could find him, so that I would love for him to be on the show, and I'd love for him to see what I'm doing, because I went through well, as life would have it. Anyway, I went through some changes, you know, as it goes, and I lost contact with everybody in Soul Machine. Rocco Poloni, who is a gnarly drummer, and he still is, from what I know of. Dude is a gnarly drummer. Brian Peacock, who is my ex brother-in-law. That's somebody who taught me the meaning of practice. Practice, learn your scales, learn your modes. And it gave me a like-minded person to grow up with, well, to hang out with after him and my sister got married. Frank Walton, Vian. It goes by Vyan, Vian. He was a singer, and I love that guy. I love that dude like a brother, man. And then there's a couple other people that when Frank and I started Soul Machine in the late '80s, early '90s, that were part of the beginning, the beginning garage stages of Soul Machine and stuff. And one there was a bass player, and I'm not going to throw her name out there, but her cousin, Denny, the drummer for Heart, and she turned me on to that. She turned me on to gnarly rhythm lines and the importance of a good rhythm, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. The rhythm has to be there. Otherwise,
all that, yeah.
Otherwise, it's forget it. You
I
know.
hope she's still playing. I hope she's still in the circuit somehow, even if it's only on YouTube. She was an awesome person. I just don't feel right by saying her name, but if she's watching or if she runs into this, she knows who she is. But that's the past, and this is what I'm doing today. And I love what I do. And I mentioned Wolf Guitars. Johnny, these guitars, look them up. They're made in Los Angeles at All-in-One Guitars, man. And they use the same woods, the same tops as Gibson, except their tops is more of a veneer type, but you can't tell. If I didn't say that, you would know it by looking at it. Guitar Max, who I promote on my channel, turned me on to Wolf guitars. He's a Wolf artist, and that's what I mean. Planet Waves. I love Planet Waves stuff. I love Persona stuff. I love Wolf guitars. The binding on the body and the binding on the neck and the binding around the outside trim of the headstock is all pure abalone. It's amazing.
Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, I'm looking at. I see them.
I love Wolf guitars, man. I mean, I'm really hoping someday to be sponsored. I'd love to be sponsored by Wolf. My channel would be sponsored by Wolf. If there's anybody out there listening, or that might see this on the replay, I love Wolf guitars. Get a hold of me. A closed mouth don't get fed. And I love Wolf guitars. I love Planet Waves. I love Boss. These are all companies that I stand by and that Guitarist Dreaming 352 believes in. EVH, Fender. I mean, I love it all. I love it all. Gretsch, thanks to Billy Duffy and the Cult, he reunited, or actually rekindled, my love for Gretsch guitars as well.
I've got a quick Billy Duffy story.
Oh, cool, man.
Real quick.
That's all right. Tell me.
This was, what year was this? Maybe it would have been maybe 3 years ago. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago somewhere. It would have been when Gretsch came out with a new Billy Duffy guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was hanging out this was at the NAMM show, hanging out in like the back, in like the catering room at Fender.
Mm.
We're making a sandwich. I sit down at this table. I'm eating the sandwich. Okay. And Billy Duffy comes walking in, sits right across from me at this table.
Wow.
And he's sitting there. And there's a couple other guys. Another guy from Gretsch, I guess, comes walking in. I'm sitting there eating the sandwich, watching this right across the table from me. This dude hands Billy the brand new Gretsch guitar,
Wow.
Billy Duffy's signature. And from what it looked like to me was he was seeing the guitar like for the first time. So I'm just sitting there eating the sandwich, watching him look at this guitar like, wow. And he's like playing and stuff. And I texted this friend of mine, this good buddy of mine, who was there. And he's a huge fan of Billy Duffy. He was actually supposed to meet up with Billy Duffy at some point. And I texted him. I'm like, dude, I'm sitting here across from Billy Duffy eating a sandwich, watching him play this guitar. I'm like, dude, get over here. But if you guys know NAMM, if you know the Anaheim Convention Center, he was way far away. So he couldn't get to where I was. But actually, I think that was the first time I had met Adam from FU Tone.
Adam Reaver.
Yeah, I think that was the first time we actually met in person, which was that same day. Like I had gotten up from eating the sandwich, watching Billy Duffy, and Adam had just walked in, and I'm like, I introduced myself to him, and because we've known each other online for years and years and years. I think that was the first time we actually met in person. So this would have been at least 3 years ago, probably more. Maybe 4 years ago, maybe whenever that was. But anyway, yeah, that's my Billy Duffy story.
That's wonderful. When that stuff happens, it's something you never forget. It's thank you for sharing that, Johnny. Seriously, that's awesome. That's awesome. I would love to go. I would love to go to the NAMM show and definitely pop in the Friedman booth, the EVH booth, the Gretsch booth, Synergy booth. Man, that would be phenomenal. Um, so tell me about the recording studio that you spend most of your time in, Johnny.
Well, it's a couple different things. It's a recording studio, and it's like practice rooms. So a few of there's a few different studios that I'll hang out in. I'll help. I've got a friend of mine out here that I'm helping him learn some of the software. You know, helping him learn like Logic, um, and some of the other recording, GarageBand, stuff like that. Um, and then aside from that, there's some piano. There's like practice areas, and I spend a lot of time, usually by myself. Again, second channel, Johnny Beane highlights. You can see me, playing the piano, getting my knuckles cracked. I spent a lot of time practicing, the scales and like figuring out songs. Actually, this was this was last week. The Van Halen song Love Walks In?
Yes.
Off 5150?
Yeah.
I figured out just by ear the intro to that song.
By ear?
Just by ear. You can watch me. You can watch me on the video. There's a video of that. Me figuring it out, playing it. And of course, I was live at the time, so I've got people in the chat, talking to me and stuff. And saying, "Hey, play this, play that." Somebody wanted me to play the Charlie Brown theme, Peanuts, the da 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 da, that one. So I figured that one out as well, and I ended up doing a medley of Love Walks In intro with Peanuts, which I know makes no sense, but if you hear it, it actually does. It actually works together, So yeah, that's what I do. As long as the power's on, that's what I've been doing is actually I have to do a recital tomorrow. I actually have to play in front of an audience tomorrow, the piano.
Oh, there you go.
So hopefully the power stay. I was actually supposed to go up to Walnut Creek today. I was supposed to go up north, Usually once a week I go 2 hours up north. I do some work, up there. I was supposed to go today, but because of them possibly turning the power off shortly. Oh, my light didn't just flicker. I'm staying down here today. So, if the power does stay on, I will probably do some piano playing. And if I do, I'll be streaming it on my second channel.
So what what's Bruce have to say? Well done on my center friend request and like your Facebook guitar channel. Well, thank you, Bruce. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Wow. When something like this happens, it touches me so much. I want to cry, to be honest with you. Having you here, Johnny, and means so much to me, man.
Well, thank you for asking me, man. It's all good. It's cool.
It is all good, really. It's all great. We got another thumbs up. I thought to myself, wow. I really like StreamYard. When you stick your cursor up to the thumbs up, it shows who gave you a thumbs up. Let's see. 6 people are watching here right now. There's only one person watching on Facebook. That's okay. Hey, one person is watching. Um, there, there was oh, what's your most memorable concert, Johnny, that you've ever been to?
Most memorable. Should I say this? I don't know if I should say this. I went and
Don't do it. Don't do
well, I'm not going to name any names.
it. There you go.
But let's just say I went and I saw one of the members of the Spice Girls solo at a small club in San Francisco one time years
Wow.
ago.
Wow.
And I ended up getting all the way in the front. And during the whole show, I was like grabbing her shoes while she was singing. Untying her shoes, tying them together. You know, that was pretty cool. It's not every day you get to see a Spice Girl right in front of you and you get to touch their feet and hold onto their arms. They're reaching down to you. And it was pretty cool.
That's cool, man. Hey,
That was probably the most memorable concert I've ever. Yeah, definitely.
definitely. There's I could see that. There is a band that I know is still in circulation out of San Francisco,
Mhm.
and that goes by the name of Vain, Vain. Vain. Have you ever heard of it before?
I think so. Let me look. They're from San Francisco?
Yeah.
Vane from San Francisco. I think we were just talking about them actually. I think maybe a couple Tuesdays ago we were talking about because we talk about 80s metal and rock music, and I think I think we actually did talk about Vane a little bit. Yes, yeah, I do remember this. I remember this. Cool. So you know those guys?
Yep, Vain. I know of them. I mid '80s Hollywood.
Mhm.
I don't know where I was. That's the bad part. But then, but it was Hollywood, and it was the mid '80s, and that's the first time up close, up against the stage, that I experienced Vain, and beat the bullet. And I thought to myself, with the Marshall stacks and the whole lights, and I mean, they had a whole big production.
Mhm.
It was gnarly. It was really, really, really good. And now, um, Davey Vane still has the same bass player, Ashley Mitchell, and still has the same guitar players. Awesome, awesome, raw rock and roll. Crank up, plug in, turn the volume up, and go. And go, man. You know, you like that?
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's rock and roll right there, man.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm glad that they're still around. I mean, a lot of bands, you know, the music scene, I guess, is still pretty prevalent today in the Bay Area, huh?
Um It's changed. It's always changing.
Yeah.
It's always changing. Um uh Yeah, I mean, there's still clubs, but you know, a lot of them they turn into like, you know, DJ clubs. A lot of DJs take over, and I think that some of them work back in the live music, you know, here and there. It's let me just say, you know, I live down here in Santa Cruz now. But generally, when I get asked to play a gig or a show with a band, you know, I get contacted by people contact me and ask me, "Hey, are you available to play this gig at this time, at this
That's
whatever?"
awesome,
And I'll learn the songs. You know, I'll learn the songs here, show up at for a couple rehearsals, and then we'll just do the gig. You know, generally most of the time I have to travel up to the Bay Area to do that. I have to go back up to Oakland. There was this gig I was gonna do in where was that? We were rehearsing in Walnut Creek. I think the gig was in Moraga, I think. I was asked to do a gig. I showed up for a few rehearsals. I ended up having to bounce on those guys because of the distance. Mainly, it was 2 hours away.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I'm like, hey, you guys should probably get somebody else for this. You know, you know, these certain days I have to stay down here. There will probably be a gig coming up, probably after NAMM, probably early February. I generally get Oakland at a warehouse. So I'm assuming I'll probably be doing that early February. But anyway, but also, you know, like I said, you know, Santa Cruz, I've been hanging out with a lot more musicians down here recently, and some rock musicians, you know, a lot of jazz musicians. Actually, a friend of mine the other day was asking me. He was wearing a Van Halen shirt, you know, and he was asking me, Johnny, what Van Halen songs, you know, should I learn? You know, what solos, you know, should I work on? And I was giving him tips, telling him, hey, try this one, try that one, you know. So, which is pretty cool. See, even, you know, on the internet, you know, I you know, people think of me as, you know, a Van Halen dude, and even in real life, people approach me and talk about that stuff, and it's
that's wonderful.
It's always cool. It's great. Yeah.
Speaking of the EVH brand, I did want to ask you on, you know, talking about EVH and all. Have you seen the exhibit that Mr. Van Halen donated for a music exhibit in New York?
The one in New York.
Yeah.
No, I didn't go. I can't afford to fly to New York, you know.
Me neither.
Yeah. No, I did not go. I know actually friends of mine actually put that on. You know, I know the guys that actually, you know, put that event, did the Van Halen portion of that.
Amazing.
I know a lot of people that did go to that and did get to check out the the entire thing. It wasn't just a Van Halen thing. It was called Play It Loud. It was all, you know, iconic you know, instruments of rock and roll. You know, you had Van Halen's original Frankenstein guitar. You know,
Yeah.
you had a Jimi Hendrix, you know, guitar. It might have been from maybe Monterey Pop or something, which is right here.
Monterey, that's another one that was in the back of my head. But
Monterey, yeah, that's half an hour from me, Monterey.
Have you been to the site of where the Monterey Pop Festival was? That big field?
No.
It's great. It's off the side of the road.
Hmm.
And I'm not even sure how to get on the actual field itself, but coming back to Azusa, back to Southern California from Sebastopol, drove right past it, and somebody said, "Will, look over your right." I look over, I see this big, massive green field that just goes on, looks like for miles. And I said, "What is that?" And the person driving said, "That's where Jimi Hendrix played the Monterey Pop Festival." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, that's where Jimi Hendrix flew down in a helicopter right down to the stage area of the field." Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. I was like, wow, man. That's hollow ground right there. I'm looking right at it. It's, to me, like the Monterey Pop Festival, as far as importance goes, means as much to me as Woodstock means to many others. Um, you've seen that movie Woodstock, haven't you?
I've seen parts of it. I've never actually seen the whole thing.
Can you imagine being there, Johnny? And 6 in the morning, Jimi Hendrix lights your early morning with the national anthem.
That's pretty cool, man.
That's surreal. That
You
is
know.
wow. Well, looking at that Van Halen exhibit in New York, Play It Loud.
Hmm.
That whole rig was the same rig that Eddie used in the backyard parties in Pasadena,
Hmm.
or a simulation of it.
It was all a recreation. It was
Yeah.
a recreation of it. Man, yeah. Speaking of Pasadena, man, I love Pasadena. Not every time I go down, but most times, I'll stop in Pasadena, and there's places I like to eat. You
Mhm.
know, I remember the In-N-Out in Pasadena. I remember stopping there some years back. Actually, there's some certain restaurants I'm actually supposed to check out at some point. There's because on Instagram, Facebook, you get followers, and I actually have some restaurants in Pasadena that have found me and want me to come and check out some of their spots, and not just Pasadena, actually up just everywhere.
That's
I get
cool.
restaurants contacting me, hey, come check us out,
That's
um,
cool. That's cool.
but there was this one, was it pizza? What was it? There was this one place in Pasadena. Maybe it was pizza. This pizza place. Um, I wanted to check out. I've known of them for probably about 5 years. Probably about
Hmm.
5 years now. But anyway, yeah.
Hey, have you ever been to on one of your journeys to Pasadena, Johnny? Have you ever been to the oh gosh, have you ever been passed through a city called Sierra Madre?
Probably.
Well, that's kind of that's another historical part of the Pasadena area, and there's a band called the Sharks. They were originally called the Sharks from Temple City, Sierra Madre, and surrounding areas. They
Hmm.
changed their name to Shark Island. And that is definitely, that was an awesome band. An awesome band.
Hmm.
Shark Island, I still listen to their music today. You know, very inspiring. Very inspiring. There's a place in Pasadena that have big name acts. Like literally, I kid you not, any day of the week, any night of the week, Monday through Sunday. And what I'm trying to remember is if the name, and if anybody in the chat room knows the name of it, please type it out, shout out. But I think it's called the Grove, or or the Canyon Club. I'm not too sure, but it's in Pasadena. I've never been there. I've wanted to go there. Like when Lynch Mob played, I had every intention of going to that. But this place really, 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 really looks sharp. And I'd love to check it out someday. I'm just not too sure of the name of it. But it's in Pasadena, and that's the one place that I know of in Pasadena that's keeping rock music alive. Having great bands playing live and everything.
It might be the Rose
That's it, the Rose. Thank you, Johnny.
on East Green Street in Pasadena.
Yeah, the Rose Green Street. That's the place. That's the place. Thank you, Johnny. Gosh, that name was killing me. It was going to drive me crazy. I'll take it like possible. The Rose.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they've got a tribute to the Doors on Friday.
Strange Days.
Wild Child.
Wild Child. I've seen them before. They're great. I highly recommend them. They're phenomenal. I'm a big Doors fan anyway, but I went to see them at a private party. It was pretty good, pretty convincing.
Mm-hmm. That's cool, man.
There's a lot of good bands play there. So what are you gonna go in lieu of the threat of blackout, or Johnny, are you gonna still go to the studio today?
Yes. Yeah. I just texted a friend of mine just a few minutes ago. Tell him that I am staying down here today, and that I would make my way over there soon. Yeah, because I do have to practice. I do some piano practicing I gotta do.
Did I ever show you? Did I ever show you? Did I ever show you my guitar? The only guitar I have.
No.
Well, this here. Let's see. This, so you can see the. There we go. The stencil of the rose right there.
Oh yeah.
This is named after my niece from China, Rosie. Stock Gibson hardware. I changed out the control knobs. The pickups are DiMarzio Paul Gilbert PG-13 pickups.
Oh, cool.
10-pounder, man. It's a Les Paul. Let's see. See if I can get the headstock. There we go. There's my TC Electronics poly clip.
Uh-huh.
You can see I love my niece so much I had to get her name engraved on the truss rod cover.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
And this is it. This is Rosie. This is my baby. Even if I never own another guitar in my life, this is it. Pick up my clip there so I can do a proper presentation. There we go. This is my 1960 tribute that I just kind of Frankensteined a little bit. I stripped off all the paint. I thought that I was going to do some full binding, and because I had never done this before, but I love the neck wood, which wolf ebony. I stripped off the paint, and I'm like, oh no, what did I do that for? So then I had to come up with a plan real quick. And so I came up with this faded purple job right there. My DiMarzio PG-13. Big shout out, Paul Gilbert. Thank you very much, sir, for these lovely pickups. And this is it. This is someday I hope to fill up my guitar rack. I have 3 spots open. I've got Rosie. Hello, baby. This is my pride and joy. And as far put my polyclip tuner down. As far as acoustics, right there, it's not much, but we were talking about our love for Fender. Well, there you go.
Oh, awesome.
This is my baby. I love this guitar right here. I just bought a capo. So after I go to In-N-Out for lunch today, because In-N-Out's just right down the street. You reminded me, Johnny.
Make sure you go inside, because the line outside will be, the drive-through line is unbearable.
Well, Johnny, I thank you. I thank you again for your time today. I thank you for being here, and I hope that this has been good for you. I hope that this helped you in some fashion or another, one way or the other. And everybody that's been hanging out, thank you so very much. I appreciate everybody's kindness, and please, down the description box below, all of Johnny Beane's links. If you don't already follow them, love them, like them. Johnny's the best. And my links, Guitarist Dreaming 352 links. And again, my PayPal link, just $1 is all it takes, folks. $1. Share this stream, $1. $1 is all it takes. And a very special thanks again to my PayPal donors that believe in me enough, my integrity and my love for music enough to donate. And Design 39 Media, again, thank you. DIMBOLA, BLADEWORKS in Victoria, Australia, thank you.
Whoa.
Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. And like all of Johnny's stuff, check out his YouTube channels. I'm going to make a playlist on my channel for his new channel. I want to promote Johnny as much as I can because I love what Johnny's doing. And Johnny Beane is just a great guy, period. And I am very, 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 very thankful Pooh Ninja said this was fun. Well, thanks, Pooh Ninja.
Pooh Ninja's in the house. Look out.
Well, look out. Now, she's somebody else I want to get on my show. Come on, Pooh.
Come on, Pooh.
Come on, Pooh. Let's do this. Check out Bruce. Well done, beautiful guitar. Well, thank you, Bruce. That's very kind of you to say that. And Bruce also says, take care, you guys. Will Don and Johnny Beane. Thank you for being here, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you. Sorry,
Yeah.
Johnny. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. I mean, it was great to meet you. And thank you for everything that you're doing. This has been awesome. And yeah, I liked your page. I followed your stuff, and same thing. I shared all your stuff on all my stuff as well. So
thank you, Johnny.
So that's what it's all about, is supporting each other and having a great time, you know.
Well, Johnny, that means a great deal. I am honored. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Really. You've been watching Artist Talk featuring Johnny Beane and his EVH Shark.
Actually, that's not mine. I wish it was. I wish that was mine, but no, it's not. Great guitars, by the way. EVH, every year, man, they're coming up with new stuff. And look in the future of EVH. I think you'll see some very, very cool stuff coming up.
I'm looking forward to it. Maybe someday I'll have one. The Ernie Ball, gosh, Ernie Ball Access. Have you ever played one of those?
Mm-hmm.
Without really saying.
That's all you got to say.
That's it, man. Okay, now that's cool. That tells me everything.
Yeah. No, they're cool. They're cool, but you know, people that think, oh, I bought the Access guitar, I've got a Van Halen. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. It looks similar, but they're really not the same guitars, you know.
Well, the Access came out first, didn't it? Before Eddie's signature with Ernie Ball.
The name did. The name was out there, Access. Yeah. Yeah. And then when Eddie left Ernie Ball, they threw the name onto his guitars, and they changed the neck. They changed, I think the pickups are changed. The body was even changed, the back of the body, you know. The switch was moved to a different, used to be here, now it's here, you know. They're still great guitars.
Yeah.
But they're not, you know, they're not like the Van Halens. If you A/B the two, you see there is a difference, you know.
Well, lastly, Johnny, I wanted to save the best for last, and for any aspiring guitarists out there, for any aspiring content creators that want to become a full timer like Johnny is now, and like I'm striving to be someday, hence the PayPal. What would you say is the key to moving forward with your creative vision here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on all the social media sites? What is the inspiration that you could share, that you're comfortable with sharing for any new content creators such as myself that want to be a full-time content creator?
I would say just try new things.
Mm.
Keep, do what you do. Don't limit yourself to one type of thing. Like, let's say, oh, I love guitars. I want to talk about guitars. That's great. But there's only so many times you can do that where it's like, oh, where you got to add something. You got to add your own spin to it. Like Pooh says, just have fun. You got to add your own thing to it, and try new things. Let me just. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just do what I do. There's no script, in front of me. There's no. I mean, sometimes there is. Some things are planned out. Like if I have a guest on, I have to research, and questions and whatever. But there's no. It's just really like free form. It's very loose. Very loose, but you kind of have to keep people's attention and well, entertain. Like I said, for me it's all entertainment. It's all well, for me I love making people laugh. That's what it is. That's for me. If I can make somebody laugh, we've got these stupid little machines here that we use that everybody, Mancuda just got one, so it's like, that's so funny. It's just, if I can make somebody laugh and teach and people can learn about, stuff that I like, including Wolfgang guitars, EVH stuff, whatever it is that I bring to the table of my corner of the internet, then if people can learn from it, and if it inspires somebody to start their own show or their own channel or their own page of whatever it is, that's great. That's great. But just keep doing whatever it is that you do, and don't be afraid to suck. I guess it might be the term, because I sucked for a long time, and some people still think I suck. I hear, my show's boring from one guy. I hear, the knives in the back, happen, and it's life. And you just have to keep doing what you do, and in the end, everything will work out in the end as long as you really believe in what you're doing, and you can't stop. You can't. Like I said, people will come and go. Things will happen, different. It's life. But just whatever it is that you do, if you want to make videos on YouTube, if you want to be, a TikTok, if you want to do TikTok, if you want to go back onto MySpace, make your account and try to rule over there, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't be afraid to turn on the camera and the mic and to be terrible, because everybody has to start out somewhere. And the thing is, though, if you start off and you are awesome, you have to get even better.
Yeah.
Okay? You have to bring it every time. It has to be, the bar has to be all the time. And if you want that stress, if you want whatever it is, you just got to do. Everybody's different. Everybody comes from different backgrounds, and for me, I just do what I do. There's no, you meet me in real life, and I'm pretty much, I am what you see on the screen, but I don't talk as, in real life, I don't talk as much, and doing these videos for me, that was one of the things to help me as far as be more social in real life or whatever, is, that this has helped me. Every time I go live, sitting here right now the past 2 hours, it's helped me be a better person for who I am.
Well, I'm glad, Johnny. I thank you. That means the world to me, man. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm able to, in some small way or another, help another person and mainly help you, which means a great deal to me. Thank you. Thank you, Johnny. Well, I appreciate time has flown by, and I do apologize if I kept you too long, but I love talking to you, and um, I hope to see you back someday
Oh, dude. Yeah, anytime.
on the Dream
Anytime.
Guitar
Just
Show.
yeah, just send me a message, you know? Any yeah. Anytime. It's all good.
And maybe fate will lend a hand, and once I ever get my first sponsorship, maybe you and I will meet, and or just one of your trips to LA. Love to hang with you, man. Um,
Okay.
I
Okay.
appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate you greatly. Thank you, Johnny, for everything, for hanging out, for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Everybody. Guitarist Dreaming 352.
Thank you, Johnny. Oh man, you're great. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for being the awesome, awesome person that you are. Everybody that that um, you have been watching, Johnny Beane hanging out with the Dreamer guy. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you, everybody, and thanks for watching. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., I've got Jay Parmar all the way from England. That's going to be a very special one. I'm really looking forward to that one as well. So I'll have it.
Awesome.
I'll have it all over the social media. So I hope to see everybody back, and I'll be streaming on both platforms again. The Dreaming Guitar Show will be hanging out with Jay Parmar. Um, Thank you, Johnny Beane. This has been, I want you to know real quick, this has been a personal thing to me because I've wanted to meet you for a very long time now. And you inspire me. You're an inspiration to me with your guitar shots, your show with David Nesdall, Rob Johnson. I have nothing but good things to say about everybody, and I thank you. I thank you for bringing me into your family and your show, and I thank you for your time, Johnny. And I hope that we do this again real soon. You've been watching the Dreaming Guitarist Show. You've been watching Johnny Beane. Thank you, everybody. Whoops.
We're still live.